Welcome to the Prep Lab. This is Math Lesson 205, Exponents and Roots. An exponent is written as a superscript above a number called the base. In our example here, x is the base, a is the exponent. And we say x is raised to the power of a. Let's look at some basic examples. 3 raised to the power of 2, or 3 squared, is equal to 3 times 3, or 3 times itself 2 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 squared is 9. 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4, or 64. An exponent can be a whole number, a fraction or a decimal, negative, or a 0. Any number raised to the 0 power is defined as 1. I want you to know the perfect squares. When you were in elementary school and studying your multiplication tables, you memorized 2 times 2 all the way to 12 times 12, which I actually think is a mistake. It should be more than that. I want you to go beyond 12 times 12 equals 144 and remember 13 squared, 14 squared, and 15 squared. 13 squared is equal to 169. 14 squared is equal to 196. I like those two numbers and they're easy to memorize because 69 and 96 are just flipped. 15 squared is 225. I'd also like you to know the first 4 cubes, perfect cubes. 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, and 5 cubed is 125. Another memory device I like for this, 15 squared is 225, 5 cubed is 125. Those numbers have an easy relationship for me in my mind. The one that you have to absolutely know is 2 cubed equals 8. It is standardized test, college entrance test's favorite exponent and root. Be really careful with negative signs on coefficients. Negative 3 squared is equal to negative 9. The quantity negative 3 squared is equal to positive 9. If you type negative 3 squared into your calculator, it's going to come out negative 9. Let's take a look at how the ACT tricks you with a question. What's the value of x squared when x is equal to negative 5? A lot of students will put in negative 5 squared. The answer is negative 25, which is one of the choices, and they'll look at their calculator and pick it. But what they should do is use a grouping symbols, parentheses negative 5, and parentheses squared equals 25. Also, be very careful with coefficients. 2x squared, 2 is the coefficient of x squared. The quantity 2x squared is 2x times 2x, which is equal to 4x squared. They're completely different numbers. What will the question look like on the ACT or the SAT? It'll probably be really big, but let's just take a small one and take a look at it. 4a squared. What a lot of students do by mistake is write 4a squared like this, instead of 4a times 4a, which equals 16a squared. Be very careful with that. What's a negative exponent? It's simply the reciprocal. X to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over x. 2 to the negative 2 is 1 over 2 squared, which is 4. Fractional exponents can have negatives as well. So 8 to the negative 1/3 is the 1 over the cube root of 8. We're going to go over that in a minute. This equals 1/2. What if I have a fraction raised to a negative exponent? I just take its reciprocal. I flip it. So I get 2 squared over 3 squared is equal to 4 over 9. They're relatively easy. A lot of students get hung up on them just because they're rusty. Practice this. You're guaranteed to see it on your test. Exponents as fractions and decimals. The fraction or the decimal simply means the root. So x to the 1/2 is the square root of x. Y to the 1/3 is the cube root of y. What's 4 to the 1/2? The square root of 4, which equals 2. What's 27 to the 1/3? The cube root of 27, which is 3. You might see some ugly fractions as exponents, such as this one, 8 raised to the 2/3. Some students just look like a deer in headlights when they see this, but all you need to do is separate the numerator and the denominator into two different exponents. So this is equal to 8 squared to the 1/3, or 8 to the 1/3 squared. 8 squared is 64. The 1/3 power of 64 is 4. 8 to the 1/3 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 equals 4. Practice these. Do them both ways. It's pretty rare, but an exponent might be a decimal. X to the 0.5 is just x to the 1/2, which is equal to the square root of x. Here's an ugly one, 4 to the 1.5. That's the same as 4 to the 3/2, which is equal to 4 to the 1 plus 1/2, or 4 to the 1 times 4 to the 1/2. This is 4 times 2, which equals 8. Go ahead and enter 4 caret the exponent symbol 1.5 in your calculator and prove me right. What are roots? Roots are the opposite of exponents. 2 squared is equal to 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 cubed is 8. The cube root of 8 is 2. Once again, I really can't overemphasize that 2 cubed is 8. It comes up on almost every test. What do we do when we multiply numbers that have exponents? If they have the same base, multiplying same bases with exponents, you add the exponents. X squared times x cubed is x to the 2 plus 3, or x to the 5. 2 to the 4 times 2 to the 3 is 2 to the 4 plus 3, or 2 to the 7. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. So if we add when we multiply, we subtract when we divide. X to the a divided by x to the b is x to the a minus b. 2 to the 5 divided by 2 to the 3 is equal to 2 to the 5 minus 3. Division is very easy. Exponents raising a power to a power, you multiply. X to the a raised to the b is simply x to the ab. 2 raised to the 2 raised to the 3, or 2 squared cubed, is equal to 4 cubed, or 2 to the 6. These two are the same things. That's lesson M205, exponents.